Hey everybody, this is Steven Strum working for GameZebo on the first of hopefully many new video content features for the site. The first one here is for the Elder Scrolls Online, the new MMO set in the Elder Scrolls universe. You might be familiar with, I don't know, a little game called Skyrim, Oblivion, maybe less familiar with Morrowind, but still all very good games nonetheless. This one is actually made by a new developer. Well, it's still Bethesda, but they're called something different, or they're a different team anyway. They might be called just regular Bethesda. I don't know. Probably not called regular Bethesda. Here I'm going to be showing you a little bit of the character creation stuff in this first video here for the first part of my video diary. You can read the whole written diary on the website gamezebo.com. But for right now, if you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead and enjoy the video. So, Elder Scrolls Online. You can probably notice I already have two characters here, Cohode and Jennifer Hale. My default character in all MMOs is always named Jennifer Hale, for reasons that may be obvious to some of you. If not, it's because she's a famous voice actor and she's in a lot of video games, including playing Shepard from Mass Effect. This is not Mass Effect, this is Elder Scrolls. But yeah, you can see they're here. Next to each of their names, there is a little bit of an icon here, a lion and a dragon. Game of Thrones fans out there might recognize those. This has nothing to do with that. This is not a Game of Thrones game. But you can still pick those heraldries nonetheless when you go into character create here, or create character. I'm going to create another lady character, I think. So those two symbols that you saw before are actually part of a greater three symbols, which are for the Daggerfall Covenant, the Aldmeri Dominion, and the Ebonheart Pact. I had no idea what any of these meant, because the game doesn't really give you any kind of context for what any of them means. They are basically the three different factions of the game, the main sort of teams that you'll be working with throughout. If you ordered the super cool Imperial Special Edition like I did, you can be in any pact with any race and any class. That's not the case if you did not do that, but I did, because I'm stupid and spend money on frivolous things. But it means I get to show you all the different races and stuff like that here on any one I want. So yeah, these different things here, you can look at the website, which is what I did, and they basically explain each of the different people. I tend to go to side with the Ebonheart Pact because it is the Nords, which are the Elder Scrolls vision of Vikings, version of Vikings, and the Dark Elves and the Lizard People, the Argonians, which you can see right here. And those are the raddest of the races, so I decided to pick with them. But I'm going to pick Aldmeri Dominion this time because I don't have a character in the Aldmeri Dominion. So, obviously, your basic, pick your alliance, pick your sex, gender, I guess. And I'm going to go with female here because I usually do. My previous characters are both Nords, so I think I'll shake things up a little bit. Not going to be an orc, because I don't think the orcs in this universe look particularly interesting or cool. They're just kind of regular people with tusks. But yeah, you've got all your options here, basically all the same options that you would normally find in any Elder Scrolls game. The Nords are the Vikings, the Khajiit are cat people, Wood Elves are your Legolas types, High Elves are your Elrond types, Argonians are lizard people, Dark Elves are your Drizzt Do'Urden types for you R.A. Salvatore fans out there, Bob Salvatore, I know you're watching. Orcs are orcs, Redguards are sort of desert nomads, I think. They live in the desert anyway, they're maybe not nomads. Bretons are, I don't know, white people. And Imperials seem to also be white people. They all have different racial abilities depending on what you pick, obviously. Imperials, I believe, only come with the super crazy, ultra frivolous special edition as well. So I might as well create an Imperial since I, splurged on that. Go up here and create a name. Since I'm working for GameZebo, I think I'm going to name my character no, not GameZebo, but how about GameZ... how about GameZB? GameZB sounds okay. It's a popular sister site. Obviously, you can go down here and randomize appearance just like you would be able to in any other game. Generally, that's what I'm going to do in most MMOs. I'll just basically randomize and then pick my hair. But since this is a how to build your character video, I might as well go through the whole thing. So there's 4 classes in the game. The classes are kind of interesting because they don't seem to affect what kind of armor or weapons you can use at all. You can totally be a sorcerer, and all it will do is change what abilities you get as you level up throughout the game. It has no bearing on your ability to use a sword and a shield and heavy armor if you want. You can just do that right out of the gate, just like any Skyrim game. But, you know, you get different abilities as you go along. Another interesting thing, I think, maybe this is something more MMOs do, but you can switch between novice gear, no gear, so you can see what kind of tattoos and everything that your people have, and then veteran gear, which gives you kind of a preview of, if you pick that class, this is the kind of armor that you're probably going to be wearing as you go along through the game and get really, really high level. Level cap is at 50, I believe. So I have a Templar and a Dragon Knight. Dragon Knight is sort of your standard battle mage that you will see most people play in most Skyrim games. Templar is your sort of paladin class, Sorcerer is your magic caster, and Nightblade is your rogue. I have a Dragon Knight and I have a Templar, so I'll probably be a Sorcerer, because Sorcerers have very flashy powers, and that makes them kind of cool. Okay, now body, I'm going to switch to no gear. I promise I'm not doing it just to see this, all these nice tattoos, that's what I was going to say. But I need to show you sort of how everything works. Very, very detailed, very large number of details that you can change about your character. You can, you know, obviously skin color. That said, I feel like the variation that you have for each option isn't incredibly high. So for Imperial, you can be very pale or kind of tan. For height, you can be normal height, or maybe a couple inches higher. There's a little bit more variation in things like body marking, like I said. Generally, when I create new characters, I like to just give them the biggest, weirdest tattoos and all kinds of crazy stuff all over their faces and bodies as much as I can. And then I name them Jennifer Hale as a joke to myself, I guess. I like to imagine Jennifer Hale. Ugh, not quite what I was thinking there. There's some gnarly scars if you want to look like a badass. So I'm just going to try and find the biggest body tattoo that I can, which I think I already did just a minute ago. Not that it really matters. There we go. Because you're going to be covered in armor the whole time with your novice gear and your veteran gear and all that stuff anyway. But, you know. So you can change all kinds of things like arm size and body size, hand size, things like that. But again, like, look, smallest hand size, biggest hand size. Not a huge ton of variation in there. It seems like they very much have a very specific type that they want to keep you with. I'm gonna have a really beefy sorcerer. Gut size, yeah, sure. But again, like I can't make her super comically fat or anything like that. It's just kind of more of a barrel chest kind of look to it, which is a bummer to me. I'm just gonna turn everything up all the way. Then, you know, hip size. This is the one that matters, though. This right here is the only thing in any game, no matter what race, no matter what gender you pick. If you don't turn posterior size up to maximum, you are history's greatest monster. And there we go, and foot size to maximum. So I'm just going to have a really, really big sorcerer with a small head, apparently, because you can't really change the head size. And then again, here, you have your heroic, whatever that means, to soft. You have to let go of the mouse to see the changes, apparently. That is the soft Imperial. And now it doesn't seem to let me grab the... There it goes. Heroic. I don't know what makes that more heroic than soft, but I guess they know better than I do. So I'm going to spend a little bit more time dealing with the facial stuff, because I feel like that's all that really matters when you're covered in badass armor throughout the game anyway. Change your voice, but your character doesn't talk. It's mostly just changing the sort of tone of the grunts. I'm going to cover her up a little bit now that I'm just focusing on the face anyway, so I can stop feeling less exploitative. See, just different jumping grunts and stuff. Hairstyles. Hairstyles actually seem to be different depending on what race you pick. I usually pick a bald character. But I'm going to show all the different hair options here so that we can get a kind of a wider range of stuff. I like to, if I don't go bald, I usually like to play with some really goofy hairstyles. I figure if you're gonna, yeah, like a mohawk. Mohawk's good, but I'm still gonna click through here and see what else is up. Not anything super surprising or super, you know, again, Skyrim, or sorry, Elder Scrolls is serious business, as we all know. So you know, we can't be having no dreadlocks or cornrows up in here on these characters, which a little bit of a bummer. I suppose those were kind of close to dreadlocks, but it's all very, you know, buttoned up. That's a little bit better, a little bit goofier. But I think I'm going to go back to the mohawk from before, if I can find it again. The big mohawk, not the little mohawk. Gotta have a big mohawk. Go big or go home. It's the motto of the Mohawks of America Association. Maybe I just passed it. But I did. Not gonna have black hair either, because why would you have black hair? There we go, mohawk. Yeah, different hair colors and styles and such. Basic stuff that you would expect from these kind of games. Kind of goof around with that. I generally tend to go with red hair on characters because there's not a lot of red-haired... Did that make it small again? Yeah, there it goes. Not a lot of red-haired heroes and heroines, or just heroes, in games. Turn the age down a little bit. Don't need to be so craggy. Adornment. And the women characters, it's not as... It's all very, you know, flowers and earrings and tiaras of various types. You can't really just give them, like, I don't know what... I mean, I think there's an eye patch option. I believe my main character, Jennifer Hale, has an eye patch. Stuff like that I generally tend to enjoy more than your basic, like, I don't know, this stuff's going to be all covered up by a helmet anyway. So, there we go. Eye patch. More tiaras. Not really my thing. Circlets, I guess, not tiaras. They're not really on the top of her head. They're kind of wrapped around. But I'm going to go back for that eye patch because, again, if you're not going with an eye patch, what are you even doing? They actually do, so if I do find the eye patch here, where I've just completely misplaced it, they do some pretty interesting stuff, and it kind of pervades throughout the game. They do some stuff with changing things to fit with options that you have made depending on what you're wearing and stuff like that. So, no novice gear, no helmet, eye patch. Turn to veteran gear, though. I should have a helmet. Can't really see it on this class. What I was going to show you was that, say on my cleric type, my Templar, I was wearing a plate helmet when I turned on veteran gear, and with that veteran gear, you could see the eye, because there's no point in having an eye patch when you've got a helmet on, but the eye was milky white and scarred a little bit. So, you know, kind of neat little attentions to detail, you know, bits of attention to detail like that. I appreciate that. Let's find... Oh, that's pretty good. That might be the winner, actually. Let's keep looking, though, just to see. It's mostly face tattoos. If you're making a serious character, you're probably not going to deal with face tattoos. There's some scars if you want to look, again, more like a badass. I generally tend to go with just, like, massive face painting and face tattoos. I could do with a little bit more variation in what head marking meant. I would like to have a little bit more control over that sort of thing. But, you know, such as it is. Yeah, just various kinds of makeup. Come on. That's better. You guys are getting a pretty good insight into what kind of characters I like to make, and what that maybe says about my personality. So, you know, again, very many options, but not a ton of variation in what you can actually do. You can't make, like, a crazy monster-looking person based on that, or, you know, just make a character that looks exactly like you if you want to, which is something I sometimes do when I'm not making them look incredibly goofy. Things like jaw size, and that's kind of about the size of it. You can change your eye color, but again, when are you ever going to see that anyway? I'm gonna give her red eyes, though. Oh, no, actually, I'm going to stick with that orange. I think that looks pretty good. Eye height, eye squint, which none of that makes a lot of difference when you're wearing an eye patch. Nose height, nose shape, mouth height, mouth shape. Ear size, rotation, ear tip flare. Big old ears. Nice high up on the head. Rotation? Oh yeah, sure. Big floppy ears. Ear size has to be high. So here's my Ferengi character. And now I've spent all this time on it, I'll just cycle through some random options to get an idea of what, you know, you can actually expect to see if you really dig into the character creation. As you can see, even though that there's not a lot of variable to each individual thing that you can change, if you sit and play around with it a lot, you can make some pretty different looking characters, but they're all generally sort of waifish looking people. That one kind of looks like Jack from Mass Effect 2. Yeah, you can definitely get some extra stuff in there. So that's basically the character creation. Once you start the game, you will be asked to play the Wailing Prison or skip the Wailing Prison. The Wailing Prison is the tutorial section, in which case you will be shown how to play the game for the most part, which I suggest playing through because it gives you a basic idea of what the story is anyway, so you might as well give it a shot. But you can skip it if you want. I think that might only be an option if you haven't played it before, so here I am logging in, but I think that's going to mostly be the end of my Elder Scrolls character creation tutorial. Thank you for watching, and please go to GameZebo.com to go see the written portion of this review diary and all the subsequent parts and videos. And thank you for watching, and once again, I will talk to you later.